Hey guys, so last night it snowed, or not necessarily snowed, but it rained quite a bit, and it also threw off a good amount of sleet. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to go ahead and talk about a wet conditioned fire. And I'm also going to do a little bit of a review on this Fiskars, and we'll see how she does today. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to gather up some wood and see what this bad boy can do. And then we'll see if we can get a fire in this wet condition. Pretty much any wooded area that you go into, you're going to find limbs that you can pull straight off the tree, or limbs that are on the ground, things like that. So I'm just going to use some limbs that were pulled off a tree over here, and let's see what this thing can do. Lay this smaller stuff aside right here, because obviously we're going to have to use that smaller stuff for kindling. See if we can get that thing to, or get some of it to dry out a little bit. The inside still is fairly dry, so I think we'll be just fine. Well, in wet conditions, it's a good thing to go ahead and when you get wood, you know, this size and a little bit larger, it's a good thing to go ahead and split them down as well. Now, this is the part where you'll see a lot of people take their knives and baton down through this. Sure, our knives can do it, and a lot of them, like the BK2, can handle it, but if you got a hatchet, tomahawk, or axe or anything like that, you know, there's no reason to use your knife for something like that. So let me show you a good way of splitting something this size with a tomahawk or with a hatchet like this. I know a lot of you thinking, well, why are you laying your split wood on the wet ground? Well, because that's how I'm going to start this fire. Is I'm going to use my version of the mini Inferno, and it can handle it just fine. Normally, if I didn't have that thing, I would not be just laying it on the ground like that. Now, if you have a tomahawk, you can use this method too. I was trying to do it with the Fiskars, but the Fiskars handle is just a little too short for this. And you can grab your wood just like this and hit them together like that, and that will actually cause them, it will cause it to split as well. Obviously the Fiskars has a little bit more weight behind it, so I really don't need to do that anyway. It's actually done a pretty good job of doing or splitting that anyway. Okay, I'm going to break down some of this smaller wood, make some smaller kindling, get right back with you guys. Alright guys, so got some wood processed down. So now let's go ahead and give my fire kit a test and see if I can get a fire in these wet conditions, only using the items that I carry with me every day. I can try different techniques and things like that, but given the conditions, given that it's cold, given that it's wet, I want to get warm. I want to get my fire going so I can in turn start working on my shelter and hunker down for the night. So I'm going to go with Surefire, and I'm going to use my version of the Mini Inferno. So let's go ahead and dig into my kit here. Here's my version. And I am also going to use this piece of aluminum foil that I keep in my kit as well. Now you've often heard me talk about using that as a container, but it can be used for other things as well. It can also be used, let's put it on the ground to separate our wood and that moisture. So that way our wood dries out a little bit faster. So let me come over here and we'll get set up. Now, like I talked about in a previous video, these things are covered in wax, okay? So before you can really fire these things up, you're going to need to expose the inner fibers. So we're just going to take the knife, we're just going to open it up like that, and that is going to expose the fibers. There we go, I couldn't seem to get a spark on the dang thing. Once I got a spark on it, the accelerant took over. She lit up quite nice. Now at this point I'm going to put my items away because I do not want to lose them. Now let's start adding some smaller wood. Be careful, you don't want to smother it out at this point. Just let it breathe, let it do its thing for just a little bit. Remember, this wood is wet. It's going to take a little bit of time. Now at this point I can start adding a little bit of bigger woods to it. Take you guys over here right quick. Okay, as you can see, my version of the mini inferno versus wet wood. I've got a pretty dang good fire going right now. And I have no doubt that with that split wood, it's going to stay going. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. You guys have a good day.